Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. In 5070 AD, with the advancement of science and technology and the increase in productivity, human beings on the Earth finally ended nearly 10,000 years of division and separation and formed a unified Earth Federation. Lu Xian was born in such a new era. This year is 5200 AD, and it has been 130 years since the entire Earth became a whole. During these 130 years, human beings have been in a state of recuperation, and the union of the Earth has not been smooth sailing. Boom, boom, boom. There was a knock on the door, a bit heavy, which seemed so irritating in this early morning. Lu Xian struggled to get up on the bed, looked at the watch showing 6 o'clock dissatisfied, and said to wait a moment while getting dressed. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. There were two men in black clothes and sunglasses standing outside the door. Although their faces could not be seen clearly, Lu Xian could clearly see the rough lines on their faces. He looked like they were trained people. Seeing the visitor dressed like this, Lu Xian cursed himself in his heart. He had just woken up in the morning, and his mind was not clear. If he had known it, he would have looked at the visitor through the cat's eye first. Standing outside the door dressed like this, Lu Xian would not open the door to them even if he killed him. However, everything is over now. The two big men at the door will not allow the slightly thin Lu Xian to close the door again. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. Hello, are you Teacher Lu? The son of Professor Lu Qingyun. The one who spoke was one of the men in black. Although he looked a bit rough, he actually spoke with respect. This made Lu Xian even more confused. What was going on, and why he mentioned his father? Hello, I'm Lu Xian. Lu Xian actually wanted to say that you had made a mistake, but he mentioned Lu Qingyun, which made Lu Xian think twice and admit his identity. It had been a long time since his father's name had appeared in his ears, which made Lu Xian feel inexplicably kind. Then please ask Teacher Lu to come with us. It was still the same smiling voice, but there was a bit of doubt in the tone. Such a tone made Lu Xian understand that if he didn't cooperate well, he would use some means. What are you doing? Lu Xian was talking, but his hand secretly reached for the door handle. Lu Xian felt regretful in his heart. It turned out that someone came to the house to recommend a one-button alarm device, but Lu Xian drove them away without even listening. Lu Xian now just hopes that he can close the door quickly and keep these two people out. Hope is beautiful. Reality is always cruel. 黑衣人明显早就料到刘璇会这样干，直接伸手扎住了门。刘璇使出了吃奶的力气，也没有撼动这门分毫。Teacher Lu, we advise you to be smarter. Come with us. We won't harm you. It's just that the situation is a bit special. Another man in black spoke. This man's tone seemed dull. This feeling was like giving an order to Lu Xian. Although the two of them have not taken out any weapons yet, Lu Xian also knows that if he does not cooperate, they may use violence. Can I pack my things? Lu Xian asked tentatively. His voice was a bit loud. He hoped to disturb the neighbor opposite so that he would have a chance to be rescued. Of course, Teacher Lu, I advise you to clean things up more comprehensively. It may be difficult for you to come back again. The first man in black said it easily, but Lu Xian's eyesight went dark. What do you mean you can't come back? Are they here to kill themselves? But why are you talking so much nonsense to yourself? Lu Xian's mind was running rapidly, but his body did not dare to stop. He returned to his room, and two men in black followed him in and closed the door behind him. Lu Xian has always been alone. If he really wants to pack it up, he really doesn't have the necessary things. Two men in black stood at the door, not saying anything. The door was already guarded by them. This room was on the 10th floor, and it was impossible for Lu Xian to climb through the window. No matter how you look at it, Lu Xian has no possibility of escaping. Lu Xian had no choice but to take it one step at a time. Thinking about it, he was giving a lecture on the podium of Haiming University yesterday, and to be in this situation today, it was really a trick of fate. After cleaning it up for a long time, Lu Xian only had a watch in his hand, which was left by his father. That year, he was just 10 years old, and his father Lu Qingyun was just 35 years old. Lu Xian thought for a while, then picked up the photo frame on the bedside table. Inside was a family photo with 3 people in total. Lu Xian was held up by his father. Lu Qingyun was holding up Lu Xian with both hands, and next to him was his mother with a happy smile on her face. It all seemed so harmonious. Lu Xian still remembered the night when he was 10 years old. His father came home anxiously wearing casual clothes at the space base, kissing and hugging his mother and him. The joy that Lu Xian had never seen before. Dad has been chosen, and Dad is going to the stars. That was the sentence Lu Xian heard most at that time. When will you come back? Lu Xian was concerned about this. The so-called starry sky, to a 10-year-old child, was just a sky full of stars. Soon. The 2-word answer really made Lu Xian happy. He was afraid that his father would never come back. However, at that time, Lu Xian did not see the tension hidden under his father's smiling face or the worry hidden in his mother's plain expression. Accompanied by his mother, Lu Xian also witnessed with his own eyes the Explorer 1 carrier rocket on which his father and 3 people were aboard were successfully launched and disappeared into the vast starry sky. A few months later, due to the rapid deterioration of the environment, in order to first treat the Earth's environment, the Earth Parliament passed a resolution to stop funding the aerospace industry and prioritize environmental management. In just a few days, the space agency, which lost its funding, closed its doors, leaving only a team of a few people to continue to contact humans in outer space. After decades of governance, the environment has improved, but the space agency still has not been rebuilt. Lu Xian's father said very soon, and it has been 20 years now. Lu Xian also waited for 20 years. When Lu Xian was 25 years old, his mother also got cancer and left this world. Until the last moment, there was no news about her husband. Lu Qingyun seemed to have disappeared from the world. Human beings have been struggling for thousands of years. Except for the long-term development of weapons, there are no actual changes in other walks of life and the 21st century. Everything is in ruins. Speaking of which, Lu Xian still doesn't know what the mission of Explorer 1 is. Teacher Lu, it's time to go. The words of the man in black brought Lu Xian back to the display. Lu Xian nodded with the man in black behind his back, put the watch on his hand, took the photo out of the frame, and put it in his pocket. After doing all this, Lu Xian walked up to the man in black and said, "Okay." Lu Xian's words were so plain. He had already put life and death aside. Only when he recalled it just now did he realize that this world was too cruel to him, and there was no need for nostalgia. The people in black were a little surprised. They didn't expect Lu Xian's luggage to be so small that they couldn't even see it on his body. They still had to act according to the order. A man in black took out a black bag from his pocket, covered Lu Xian's head directly, and said, "Sorry, this is very important." Lu Xian did not resist and allowed the black bag to be put on his head. At this moment, all the light disappeared. Lu Xian, who was in the darkness, could only feel the man in black opening the door and leading him downstairs. Chapter 2, where am I going? With the black bag on his head, Lu Xian couldn't see anything next to him. With his familiarity with the building, he knew that he was taking the stairs to go downstairs. As in all police dramas, he chose the stairs first. It was now a little past 6 o'clock, and Lu Xian was no longer afraid of death, but he still looked forward to a miracle. Living was naturally better than dying, even if he was living in embarrassment. Lu Xian hoped that someone in the early days would see them like this and call the police to rescue him, but soon his last hope was gone. Had the streets outside been cleared of people? Lu Xian could clearly hear the voice of one of the men in black. "Report, sir. It has been completely cleared." Sir, when Lu Xian heard this, he felt that it sounded a bit like a military officer. He had grown up, worked diligently, lectured on cosmology, which he was best at in college, and had not even picked up money a few times, let alone committing a crime. How could he be targeted by the military? "You're smart. Don't call me that outside." The man in black emphasized his tone and severely criticized this person. Lu Xian was completely confused at this time. What was going on? The man in black means that he has acquiesced in this title. How could he be controlled by the military? Lu Xian was puzzled, but now no one could return for him. After teaching the soldiers a lesson, the two men in black still stood one on the left and one on the right, grabbing Lu Xian's left and right shoulders and leading Lu Xian forward. Turn left, turn right again, turn left again. Even though Lu Xian was familiar with his residence and with his head covered and unable to see the road, he had no idea where he was. Lu Xian would know that in order to prevent him from knowing the specific seat, the two men in black took him around several times. Lu Xian followed them and walked until his legs were weak, and he didn't stop. Seeing that the time had come, the man in black finally stopped after walking a few more streets. Lu Xian was panting. For someone like him who doesn't exercise often, this amount of exercise was a bit too much. There was a sound of the car door opening, and Lu Xian was carefully invited into the car. The two men in black did not follow him. Based on his feeling, Lu Xian knew that this was a huge and luxurious car. There was a lot of space in the car, and it seemed that someone was already waiting for him inside. The car door closed. The sound of the engine starting sounded, and Lu Xian could feel the vehicle starting to move. "Professor Lu, you can take off this thing." This is actually a woman. Lu Xian took a deep breath, relieved the fatigue from walking for a long time, and reached out to take off his hood. 初见光明，有点刺眼. After getting used to it for a while, I found that the car was pretty much what I expected. It was very spacious. If I hadn't felt some bumps, it would have been like a small room. He was sitting on a small sofa. In front of him was a coffee table with fresh fruits and bottles of water. On the sofa opposite him was a woman wearing professional attire. This woman's skin is very well maintained, without any wrinkles, but her eyes that take in the world betray her age. "Who are you?" Lu Xian asked tentatively. "My name is Li Peng. You can call me Professor Li. Like you, I am an expert in cosmology. What is different from you is that I know nothing about aviation or engine manufacturing." Professor Li introduced carefully and also revealed the reason why he was targeted by the military. Lu Xian didn't speak, just lost in thought. "You published this paper, right? Even though you used the pseudonym Shisher, we still found out your true identity. This article is very exciting." Professor Li took out a paper and asked Lu Xian without hiding his appreciation in his tone. Lu Xian picked up the article. The bold title was on the significance of special engines for space exploration. Under the title was the pen name Shisher. This was indeed written by Lu Xian. He was very interested in spacecraft engines and had profound knowledge. His dream when he was a child was to design an engine, but the closure of the space agency disappointed him. He learned a lot of knowledge in this area through self-study, posted it online, and successfully published it. "Yes, this is what I wrote. This is my dream." Lu Xian unconsciously touched the article with his hand, his eyes revealing his madness. Now that his dream can only be expressed on paper, it is really cruel. "The 3 stages of the engine you wrote are very attractive to us. So this time we did not hesitate to risk exposure and use the power of the military to invite you over. Although the method is a bit rude, we can only do some things in secret." Professor Li's words actually contained a little helplessness. Lu Xian didn't know what happened and couldn't speak. The two sat opposite each other, saying nothing. After putting Lu Xian in the car, a man in black pressed the headphones on his ears and asked, "How is it? Have you put the body away?" Put it away and put it on the bed. This one is very similar to Lu Xian's body shape. No one will doubt it. The police and fire departments have been notified, and the bomb has been secured. The dose is very small. It will only destroy things in the house and will not affect other residents. A calm man's voice came from the headset. When you're ready, just detonate it. The rest will be left to you. Remember, it must be foolproof. The man in black explained again, walked to the car next to him, and walked away. The ordinary residential building returned to tranquility again, but the tranquility only lasted for a few minutes and was ended by an explosion. There was a violent explosion in Lu Xian's room, and the blazing fire could be felt on the first floor. The entire residential building instantly became chaotic. When some people were about to call the fire department, the sirens of fire trucks were heard in the distance. As if they had known something like this would happen, the firefighters arrived quickly and began to carry out rescue operations. Although residents are very confused about the situation, no one has delved into it. This may be because the efficiency of firefighting has improved. After what happened in the morning, the nearby residents gradually calmed down and returned to their own lives. Even after 1,000 years of development, civilian industry still requires labor. In other words, who has been fighting for nearly 1,000 years? Who cares about civilian industry? Correspondingly, the military industry is developing extremely well, and the development of the two parties is very uneven. In the afternoon of this day, news came out that Lu Xian, a professor at Haimen University, died due to an explosion caused by a gas leak. At that time, Professor Lu was still sleeping soundly in bed. When the firefighters arrived, the body had been burned beyond recognition. The news screen showed a mosaic picture. Through the mosaic, only a vague black human-shaped object could be seen. Even if it was not a human body, the public could not tell. As always, people believed the news. Lu Xian died like this. On the other side, after a long ride, Lu Xian and his wife also arrived at their destination. Chapter 3, this is the space agency. The luxury car stopped slowly. During this period, Lu Xian did not hear any opening or closing sounds. Lu Xian even wondered if he had been taken to the wilderness. Professor Lu, we're here. Get out of the car. Li Ping urged when she saw Lu Xian didn't move. Lu Xian looked at the black bag in his hand. His meaning was very clear. Do I want to bring it again? Professor Lu, you are too funny. The black bag is not for you to see the road, but for others to recognize you. Now, we are all waiting for you to join us. There is no need to use it. Just throw it into the car, and someone will clean it up. Li Ping pursed her lips and smiled, looking a little flashy. Judging from her appearance, she should be about the same age as Lu Xian, both around 30 years old. Don't call me Professor Lu. I'm not that old. You should call me Lu Xian. Lu Xian said helplessly. Then please, Lu Xian. Li Ping opened the car and made a please gesture. Lu Xian no longer shirks, but he has arrived at this place without knowing why. Even if he dies, he must die. Lu Xian slowly stepped out of the luxury car, and Li Ping followed closely behind. This is this. Lu Xian just glanced at it and was shocked. This is a large building complex. Lu Xian is standing at the gate of this building complex. The building complex is surrounded by tall city walls. Outside the city wall is a large forest. There is also an endless forest. Although this forest is green and lush, it still gives Lu Xian a strange feeling. Looking up, there is a blue sky and pure white clouds. Lu Xian has not seen such a beautiful sky in a long time. The environment here is really great. The city gate is heavily defended by soldiers holding weapons, and there are even 5 tall mechas guarding the place. You must know that mecha craftsmanship is a weapon that has only been developed in the past 100 years. With this powerful weapon, the countries on the earth were finally forced to unite and enter a period of complete peace. The cost of each mecha is sky high. Moreover, mechas are strategic materials and are not allowed to be manufactured and used by civilians. There are 5 mechas here, which shows how important this place is. In fact, these are not very attractive to Lu Xian. What attracts him most is the rocket standing in the center of the city, with its top reaching straight into the sky. Logically speaking, since the cancellation of the space agency, rockets should be prohibited from being manufactured. But here, rockets stand like this, connecting the sky and the Earth. Welcome to the space agency. Li Ping looked very satisfied with Lu Xian's performance, with a touch of pride in her tone. Lu Xian looked back at Li Ping behind him, opened his mouth, wanted to ask something, but didn't know which question to ask first. So in the end, he just opened his mouth and said nothing. You will understand later. Now, let's go through your entry procedures first, and then I will show you around. Li Ping walked to Lu Xian and made a please gesture. Lu Xian nodded and walked dully. Li Ping walked beside him and led him towards the door. Please show me your ID. 2 mechas blocked the door, and a soldier stood in front of the mecha and Lu Xian and said to them, This is Professor Lu we just hired. The higher-ups have probably told you that he currently has no ID. This is my ID. Li Ping said, stretching out her right hand. There was something like a bracelet on the wrist of her right hand. The soldier took out a micro machine and scanned the bracelet. Li Ping's information appeared in the machine in his hand. Professor Lu, welcome. Identity confirmed. Permission to pass. The latter sentence was obviously addressed to the 2 mechas behind him. Li Ping smiled and nodded slightly, walking in front, followed closely by Lu Xian. When passing 2 mechas, Lu Xian was surprised again. Originally, he thought that the mechas were only a few meters long and had limited lethality. However, if he really stood next to the mecha, he could see the exact height of this mecha, which was at least 30 meters high. This completely subverted Lu Xian's cognition. When he walked into the city, Lu Xian realized something was wrong. There was no one in such a big city. Lu Xian followed Li Ping in confusion. Although he was full of doubts, he did not ask anything. Passing through the gate of the city, there is a huge pillar directly in front, with several large golden characters on it, which are so conspicuous. Always remember the warriors who sacrificed their lives to explore the stars and the sea. Li Ping did not intend to go around the pillar, but walked straight in front of the pillar, stretched out her right hand, and put the bracelet on her wrist close to a certain part of the pillar. A machine voice came out. Identity confirmation. Professor Li, hello. Please wait in room 012. The elevator has started running. Li Ping greeted Lu Xian, who was completely dumbfounded, and led him along the untraveled road to the front of a house. The house was very simple, with nothing special about it. There was a number plate hanging on the door with golden characters on it. 012. It was obvious that this was the room. Li Ping once again approached the door with her bracelet. After verifying her identity, the door quietly opened. This time, Li Ping did not leave directly. Instead, she turned back and grabbed Lu Xian's arm and dragged him into the room. The room was empty except for its 4 metal walls. After the 2 entered, the door quietly closed. Li Ping slowly let go of Lu Xian's arm and explained, This is the verification of the machine. Because you are here today, we have temporarily modified the security protection measures. Otherwise, even with my identity verification, you will not be able to get here. That door has an attack system. If I don't catch you, you will be hit directly by the weapon, and even the ashes will not be left. Lu Xian was completely stunned now and couldn't say anything. He just nodded stiffly to show that he understood. Buzz. A strange sound came out. When Lu Xian was still confused, a wall in this room cracked from the middle, and there was an elevator inside. Lu Xian now understood the meaning of that electronic sound. Let's go. Li Ping greeted and took Lu Xian into the elevator. The elevator door closed gently and started running. Lu Xian knew with his feet that the elevator was running underground. Lu Xian, what do you think of the place where we got off just now? Is it beautiful? Li Ping asked abruptly in the elevator. The view is beautiful. To tell you the truth, that place is actually 100 meters underground. All the scenery you see are holographic projections. Isn't it very real? What? Lu Xian was shocked. Everything that happened just now was fake. Bite. There was a sound from the elevator, and it was obvious that Lu Xian's final destination had arrived. Welcome to the Underground Research Institute. Li Ping got out of the way of the body blocking Lu Xian's sight. Lu Xian looked forward and was shocked again. Since entering this place, Lu Xian didn't know how many times he had been shocked. Chapter 4, welcome to join. Li Ping stepped aside, and Lu Xian saw that the scene in front of him was exactly the same as the scene above. There were still tall city walls and many houses. Of course, there are still many differences. There is no mecha guard at the door, only a simple duty room, and there is no huge rocket in the center of the city. Let's go! Li Ping guided Lu Xian forward. In front was the city gate. There were only 2 people in the duty room, smiling and looking at Lu Xian and Lu Xian, who were gradually approaching. Hello, this is the new Lu Xian, Professor Lu. Is this pass ready? Li Ping greeted them familiarly. Hello, Professor Li, Professor Lu. This is Professor Lu's pass. Welcome to join us. A guard said with a smile, taking out a bracelet from the drawer, which was exactly the same as the one on Li Ping's hand. Lu Xian nodded with a smile, took the handed bracelet with both hands, and said softly, "Thank you." After Li Ping said hello again, she took Lu Xian into the city that was hundreds of meters underground. When entering the city, the first thing he saw was the streets with people coming and going. This scene was completely different from the one above. Put on the bracelet first. Remember, you must be calm when using the bracelet. The bracelet will automatically detect your heart rate. Once it fluctuates too much, it will not give you permission to open the door. This is a measure to prevent you from being hijacked by others and sneaking into this place with you. In addition, once you put it on, you cannot take it off. Once taken off, all the information in the bracelet will be automatically destroyed. Do you understand? Li Ping said to Lu Xian with a serious face. Lu Xian also knew the top secret nature of this place, so he nodded sharply and said, "Understood." You also know that our government department had to move the space agency underground due to pressure from public opinion. In fact, the space agency has never disappeared. It is very necessary to explore the resources we need in the interstellar world, and it is also the meaning of our space agency's existence. Li Ping introduced Lu Xian in detail, and Lu Xian was also excited. It turns out that the country has not forgotten his father, the poor astronaut. When Li Ping said this, Lu Xian had already put on the bracelet. The size of the bracelet just fit Lu Xian's wrist. It seemed that when they invited Lu Xian over, they had already scouted everything, even the size of Lu Xian's wrist. Bite. As soon as he put on the bracelet, a message was sent from the bracelet. Lu Xian raised his arm and read the message carefully. Dear Professor Lu, hello. Welcome to our space agency. Your number is 0507. The room assigned to you is the same as your number. You can go to your room now to have a look. Lu Xian raised his head and glanced at Li Ping doubtfully. The message just now notified you of the number, which is generally the same as the number of the house. Now I will take you there, and I am your guide at the moment. In this place, we can communicate with each other remotely through the bracelet. Just enter the other party's number. The outside world's mobile phones are completely unusable here, and your mobile phone can be declared scrapped. Li Ping said at the end, showing a chuckle. Losing your mobile phone is indeed an unpleasant thing, but it is also an important means of confidentiality. Lu Xian hurriedly took out his mobile phone. Let alone making calls, the entire mobile phone could not be turned on. It seems that there is some instrument here that interferes with the hardware of the mobile phone. Ever since he set foot here, the mobile phone has been remotely burned. This technology was originally used on the battlefield. Lu Xian reluctantly installed the phone. Even if it was broken, it should be kept as a souvenir. He raised his arm and looked at the bracelet on his hand. The interface was very simple, with only two functions: sending text messages and making calls. The identity verification function does not require the user to manually turn it on. As long as the user is close to the instrument, the identity can be determined. Lu Xian felt like he was back 1,000 years ago. If you are familiar with it, I will take you to your room and show you around the city. In addition, we call this city the aerospace capital. A little pride flashed on Li Ping's face. Lu Xian nodded to express familiarity, and the two set off again, with Li Ping still in front and Lu Xian following behind. It feels like in some years there were people coming and going on the streets, and everyone had their own things to do and their own direction in life. Lu Xian could feel that they had something in common, and they both felt satisfied. It seems that these people, like me, all have a heart for spaceflight, and they are full of joy when they come here. It's not hard to understand. Who wouldn't be happy to be able to do what you like every day? Facing the newcomer Lu Xian, everyone smiled at him, and Lu Xian also smiled at him. At this time, Lu Xian could feel their sincerity. No words are needed. Just an expression is enough to describe the atmosphere of the city. The street looked winding and messy. Lu Xian followed Li Ping and turned left and right, and finally stopped in front of a house numbered 0507. We are all experts in engine research here. I believe you will have a lot in common. Li Ping stepped aside and said to Lu Xian. At the same time, she pointed at the door, indicating that Lu Xian could open it with her bracelet. Lu Xian tried to bring the bracelet close to the sensing area and said to Li Ping with a smile, "Is this city so big? There are more than 500 houses in the queue, and these houses are still small bungalows." Drop. The door opened in response. The numbers are random and have no specific meaning, nor do they represent the number of houses. You can look at the house numbers next to them. Li Ping is already familiar with these. Lu Xian, who had already entered the door with his front feet, abruptly pulled back and glanced at the number of the house next to him. 0385. This number is really random. Lu Xian took a look and greeted Li Ping to enter the house. The structure of the house is the same as above, but there are a few more.